So I actually made a video very similar to this last year talking about all of my 2020 goals, and I rewatched that this morning. I mean, I like really quickly rewatched it. It's kind of hard to watch videos of yourself, especially like past videos. Like I always feel like over it. Like as soon as I get done editing, I'm over the video. I never want to see it again. So I kind of skimmed through my last year's, and 2020, everyone knows, was the year the world was on fire, the year everyone was stuck at home. So I really didn't accomplish very many of my goals, if I'm going to be completely honest. And one of my goals made me laugh so hard because one of my goals last year was to learn to play the piano or to practice the piano more. And I do have a piano. I have a piano in my house. I have all of the like beginner learning books. I mean, you can go online and learn how to play piano, and 2020 would have been the best possible year to do that because of the fact that, we were all kind of stuck at home all year. And I think that I opened my piano maybe once, maybe one time, which it just makes me laugh so hard because I'm like, wow, I really could have spent all of my energy last year learning how to play this piano, but instead I spent all of my energy laying on my couch and watching TV. So there's that. But you know what? I don't regret that because I love TV. I love watching TV. And I also really, really love the new series I started on my channel last year called What I Watched This Month, where I talk about all the stuff I watched that month. So I am happy about that. Do I still want to learn how to play piano? Yes, I think that is going to be like on my goals of every year until I finally just do it. Or never do it. Who knows? Maybe I'll die and I'll never know how to play the piano and I'll just have one in my house. Like I feel like every time someone comes over who is coming to my house for the first time, they see the piano and they're like, oh my god, do you know how to play piano? And I'm like, no, I don't. But I want to, but I don't. So yes, learning to play piano is still on my goals for 2021. It's transferring over from 2020, and I have this thing where I think part of me really wants to learn the piano for two reasons. One, I have this fantasy of me going into a place that has a piano, like a restaurant or a building, or if there was just a piano on the street, and me being able to like sit down and like play a whole just beautiful song and just walk away all cool. Like I have that fantasy that I want to make a reality, but it's never gonna happen unless I learn. Also, I am like really, really afraid of getting like dementia or Alzheimer's, and I know that's something that just like happens to pretty much everyone. That's just something that happens with age, but I've really read a lot about how playing an instrument can really help with that because you're continuously using your mind and challenging your mind, and like I watch a lot of TV. TV rots your brain, so an instrument probably would help me out. I almost don't like setting goals for myself because then I feel like I take them too seriously and then I end up kind of like feeling bad about myself if I don't accomplish any of them. So I like to set smaller goals. Even though I just told you that I want to learn piano and that's a huge goal, I like to set more smaller goals for myself. So like last year, one of my goals was to take better care of my hair. And by that, I mean just like using more hair masks and heat protecting sprays and, taking care of my hair in that way. And this year, I really want to make it a goal of mine to figure out how to style my hair. Now, I obviously recently did this crazy change in the look of my hair, but I've never been able to really style it. I'm like super lazy with my hairstyling skills. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have naturally pretty wavy hair, so I usually will just like throw it in a braid when I go to bed, keeps the waves in it, and then I call it a day. If I'm feeling real crazy, I'll like flat iron it, or I will use that like 3-prong waver iron, but that's about it. That's like all I can do with my hair. I'm not good at like parting it. I'm not good at putting different ponytails in it. I'm not good at curling it. Like curling my hair is my kryptonite, and that's honestly really what I want to learn and accomplish this year. Something else I really want to work on this year is to stop comparing myself to other people. Now, I know this is a lot easier said than done, but really what I'm meaning when I say that is like you know, I'm really trying to make this like YouTube thing work, this social media thing work, and I am guilty of comparing myself, a extremely small channel, to someone who has like millions of subscribers, and I'll be like, oh, my videos aren't as good as them, they're not as creative, my transitions aren't as good, my pictures aren't as great, and I'm like, why am I comparing myself to someone who has millions of followers versus me who has like, you know, 200? Like, the comparisons don't even make sense, but that's just like who I am, especially on social media. I always compare myself to people who are just like huge, so crazy, like celebrity status. I'll compare myself to them, and then I'll start like, I don't want to say hate myself, but I'll definitely start really negative thinking about myself and negative thoughts of myself, and then I like dig myself into this like negative hole, and it takes a while for me to like pull myself out and be like, girl, what are you doing right now? Don't compare yourself to others, especially people that are just like in a different league than you, in a different ballpark than you. Like, I really need to stop comparing myself to that. Like, sometimes I will second guess videos I do or pictures I post and stuff like that, because I'm like, oh, it's just not good. No one's gonna like it because it's not the quality or the same level of content as like some of these other YouTubers or Instagram or whatever. And that is just like so not healthy, so not the vibe for 2021. Okay, we are over comparing ourselves to others in 2021. Also, for this year, I really want to continue doing something I actually started doing this last year. It's so like weird to me to say last year when it's January, like, because it doesn't seem like a year ago at this point, you know? Like, I started doing this in like December, so when I'm saying like, oh, last year, and really it's only last month, like, does anyone else feel that way? Because I definitely feel that way until like June, and then I feel like I can say, oh, last year, you know? But what I was saying was something that Spencer and I started doing last year was going on walks every single day. We were going on a walk either in our neighborhood or, like, for instance, yesterday we were going to get takeout for dinner, and instead of just like going on a walk in our neighborhood and then driving over to get takeout, we actually drove to where we were going to get food, parked there, and then just kind of walked around the neighborhoods over there. We walked on like the bike path, and it's just a way, yes, to be active, but more, I think it's just like good for me and Spencer. We're going on walks, we're getting fresh air. We've been listening to an audiobook together, so we're like sharing AirPods. I have one in and he has the other one in, and we're listening to the same book, and we're not really talking, we're really just walking around and enjoying the nature. I've been posting on my Insta stories like every day when I go. Yesterday we went on this really cute bike path over by the river, and it was right by our food place, so it was like super easy. And then when we're done, it's like rewarding to get your food, you know? So that's something I definitely want to continue doing this year, as well as listening to audiobooks. I've always enjoyed audiobooks, but I've also always, like, I think because most audiobooks are like 40 hours or just like a huge chunk of time, I'm just like, I'd rather listen to a podcast, or, oh, I'd rather just watch a YouTube video. When in reality, it's like, it's basically just like I'm listening to a podcast, you know, but a longer one, a big story. So that's something I really want to continue doing, is listening to audiobooks. So me and Spencer made this deal that after the one we're listening to now is over, we're going to go back and forth on who picks the book, because we do have similar styles, but also very different styles in stuff we like to read. We both really like, you know, like sci-fi fantasy stories, but I think I am more into like horror novels or true crime novels and love stories and stuff, and he's definitely more into like educational, history, sci-fi. So it's gonna be fun to go back and forth, and I think that we'll both really learn a lot that way and really bond in another way like that. I feel like once you've been in a relationship for so long, Spencer and I have been together for, it'll be 7 years this year, I think. Yeah, 7 years this year. We'll be married for 5 and together for 7 this year. And that doesn't seem like a very long time, but you know, when you are with each other every single day, when you see each other all the time, it's easy to kind of get comfortable and get stuck into a routine. So we like to just kind of throw little things in to help our relationship bond and help us grow and, you know, just experience new things together. So I think that that will be really fun for us to do, and we've been really enjoying it, so that's great. And I even recommend that, like, even if you don't have a significant other, do it with yourself or do it with a friend. I know myself personally, like, I'm such a chicken. I feel like, I don't know what it is, like, the older I got, the more afraid I got of the outside world, and that is something I definitely want to work on this year too. Like, when I was younger, I would walk everywhere by myself. I would walk all the way across town by myself. I would walk at night, in the morning, like with my headphones in, and I wasn't afraid of anything. And I think, yeah, part of that is being naive, because when you're younger, you know, you don't see as much as what's going on in the world. But the older I got, the more paranoid I got. And now, like, the idea of me going on a walk by myself is, like, insane. Like, I'm just like, why would I go on a walk by myself? Why would I do that? Like, am I just trying to be kidnapped? Like, that's kind of how my brain works. And that's something that I need to get over, because I do really enjoy walking around, being outside, especially when the weather's nice. And I find myself a lot of times not doing things because I'm like, oh, well, I'm alone and I don't want to be alone. I feel, you know, stressed or worried or whatever. Like, so I always want to be with someone else. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to be paranoid and be aware of your surroundings. It's definitely a good thing to be that way. But I think that I let it hinder me in a lot of ways, where I won't, for instance, go on a bike ride by myself. Like, I've been telling Spencer for weeks now that I've been wanting to start running outside like once or twice a week, just add it, even though I hate running, but just adding, you know, that extra bit of cardio into my fitness routine. And I'm like, but I don't want to do it because I don't want to run by myself, because I want to listen to my headphones. And if I have both my headphones in, like, I won't be able to hear if something's going on. And yes, that is a valid concern. Like, I'm not at all saying that, like, you shouldn't be concerned of those things, especially as a woman running by yourself with headphones on. But also, like, there's things I could do to make myself feel more safe, and I don't allow myself to do those things because I let fear take over. And so I think that is definitely on my goals of 2021, is to let myself live with a little bit of fear. You know, like, I can go outside and go on a run by myself. I'll be okay. I've done it before, you know? And it's definitely just something that I think the more time I spend home alone, the more, you know, news. Like, I want to watch less news this year, because, like, even though I think it's important to stay informed, I also think the news can be a really toxic place, because it's never ending, you know? It's always just like, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. And I feel like the news isn't very positive. It's definitely very negative. That's like one of the ways that it, like, sucks you in and makes you watch it all day. And I get sucked in, like, hard. So that's something that I want to work on too, is being on the news less. I don't like setting too many goals for myself, because then I feel like it gets, like, overwhelming when you set like 15 goals for yourself throughout the year, and then it turns into like a list that you have to mark off. Like, I don't want to do that. Because I know myself. I'm the person that creates. This is what I do. This is how neurotic I can be sometimes, okay? I make to-do lists for myself every single day, just because, like, I do work from home, and so a to-do list does help me, you know, stay focused and stay on track and, like, get everything I want to do now down. But if my list only has like 5 things on it, I will create more things for myself. But it's like simple things, okay? Like, I'll be like, do the dishes, drink water, stretch, you know, I'll add those little filler things in. And then when I don't get them all done, I feel like I failed my day. Like, I'm like, I had all these things on my list, and all day long I'll be like, I'm so busy, I have so much to do, I have so much to get done today. I have to do this, I have to do this. And then in reality, I'm like, I told myself I needed to fold the laundry and film a video. Like, girl, you can handle that, okay? I could handle that. I've definitely been in higher stress situations, but that's just like who I am, is I will spiral and I will think and I will create extra stress for myself. And I have to continuously remind myself, like, it ain't no thing, okay? It's easy. You got this. It's nothing. And as easy as that is to say, I think a lot of us know that no matter how much you tell yourself, you know, don't worry, don't stress out, there's always a part of you that's going to continue to do that. So that's something I have to be myself really active about keeping track of. I have to be really active of making sure that I'm not allowing myself to get really stressed out or get really negative. I think last year I talked about how I wanted to be more positive about things, because I am a pessimist. I mean, honestly, like, I am the queen of what ifs. I'm the queen of, like, what if this happens? What if it goes wrong? What if this person's not happy? What if I say this and it makes someone upset? Or what if this doesn't work out? Or what if I get there too late? Or what if they're sold out of this and that? And it's like, usually 99% of the time, everything's fine. There's no issue. But I create the issues in my head because I am really good at thinking of like all the perspectives of a situation and all of the outcomes of a situation. And in reality, I'm like, half of those aren't even gonna happen. Like, girl, calm down. And I do think that I have gotten better at that this year. I don't think I'm perfect at it, and I think it's something that I will always have to work on because I am just inherently a more negative person. I think that a lot of it comes from like growing up. My mother was kind of that way. She was more negative, more pessimistic on things, and so I think that that's just like why I am the way I am. But it is something that I do recognize and I do actively try to work on. I'm not perfect though. Some days, you know, I wake up and the sky is falling, but some days I wake up and I'm like, my life is great. I'm doing good. Another thing that I want to continue to work on this year, and this is something that I think I will always work on and it will always be a goal of mine for years past, is to understand more of what triggers, and I hate that word. If I'm being honest, I don't like that word at all, but what triggers my anxiety and what triggers you know, my mental health to go downhill. And I feel like this year especially I've done better at recognizing when my body or my mind is just like, girl, you need a break. You need a lazy day and you need to not feel bad about it. Okay, like for instance, the other day, I've been working out really, really hard lately. And the other day I woke up and 5 minutes into my workout, like I could just feel that my body was not having it. I even drank pre-workout and my body was just like exhausted. It was like, girl, I can't do it today. And normally I would just push myself to the limit and do like a really half-ass workout and then maybe pull a muscle or hurt myself because I wasn't using proper form and then beat myself up all day about it. But instead I stopped. I was like, okay, clearly this isn't working out today. This is not what's happening. This is not in the stars. I stretched. And I didn't work out that day. And honestly, the next day when I woke up and I went to work out, my body felt so much better and I performed so much better than I would have if I would have forced myself to work out the day before. And so I feel like I'm getting better at recognizing and feeling things like that in my body and in my mind. And that's something that I want to continue to do because obviously it's never going to be perfect, but I am getting older and I'm getting wiser and I'm getting better at figuring out what type of things make me feel certain ways, and I'm getting better at recognizing those and recognizing how to be like, okay, we're done. You need a break. You need to get out of the situation. You need to eat something. You need to have some coffee. Those are big ones in my life for sure. And you know, it's all baby steps. It's all just like learning yourself and learning what helps you and what hurts you. Okay, well, now that I got real heavy there for a second, let's go on to a funner goal that I have for this year. So I feel like every year my goals are to travel, and travel is just like, it's weird right now because of everything going on in the world, you know, traveling isn't really like happening, but I really, really, really want to go to the Grand Canyon. I've been saying I want to go to the Grand Canyon for years, and I feel like that is like one of the trips you can take this year because you're like in a car the whole time, you can socially distance, it's outside, and I really want to go to the Grand Canyon. So I'm putting that out there in the universe. 2021, I'm going to the Grand Canyon, and I've already looked it up. Like, feasibly, I could do it in 3 days from my house. Now, I wouldn't be doing all the driving. Spencer would definitely have to take over the driving aspect because it'd be like one full day of driving, a little bit more driving the next day, we're there, and then a lot of driving back. But I just want to see the Grand Canyon so bad. I've always wanted to go to the Grand Canyon. I've always wanted to see it. And so I feel like this year is my year to do it. And that's it. I'm putting it out there in the universe. Another goal I have, this is more of like a work-orientated goal, is I really want to be reposted on a brand's page this year, whether that be Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. That's like a goal of mine for sure this year. I've never been reposted on a brand's page. I've been posted on like Insta stories, and that's about it. I've never been like really recognized by a cosmetic brand or anything like that, and I totally get that because I still am a super small account, super small channel and everything, but that is my goal for sure. I don't like setting number goals for myself. I made that a promised to myself when I first decided that I was going to start Instagram and YouTube and everything, that I don't want to set like, okay, in 6 months I want to have 1,000 subscribers, or by the end of this year I want to have this, because I think that that just sets you up for like mental health failure. It's like just a slow game, the game of gaining subscribers and followers and stuff. And so I feel like if I were to set goals for myself that way, it would just like probably not work out the way I think it would, and then it would make me feel like shit about myself. And so I made it a deal for myself from the beginning to not make goals like that. But that being said, one of my goals is to be reposted by a brand this year. And that is kind of just like, I feel like partially luck a little bit, but that's what my goals, that's what I'm hoping. What are some of your guys' goals for 2021? I know that like I've been seeing a lot of people online either saying that they are not ready for 2021, they don't feel ready and recharged and, you know, ready to set goals for themselves. And I've seen a lot of people say that they're like so ready, that this is the year for success, like they're all about it this year. So let me know in the comments down below what your goals are. Do you like to set big goals for yourself, small goals? Are you about like making yourself a huge list? Do you like to just say a couple things like me? What is it? Let me know. Do you even believe in resolutions? I used to never ever set a New Year's resolution for myself because I was just like too afraid of failing basically. And I think that I always kind of thought that like resolutions were like, I want to lose weight, I want to make more money. Like that's kind of what I initially think of when I think of resolutions, but they're not really like that. Like it's basically whatever you want. Like if your resolution is like, I want to drink 200 Red Bulls this year, that's a resolution. It's just like a goal you're setting for yourself. Do I think you should have that as your resolution? No, but who am I to tell you what to do? But you know, take it from me, I did give myself an ulcer from drinking too many Red Bulls when I was 18, so if you're about that Red Bull game, maybe just drink some water too. This is like so off topic, but isn't it crazy to think about how you used to eat and drink when you were younger? And by drink, I mean like energy drinks, soda, stuff like that. And it did not affect your body at all. Not in like a body shape way, but in like a I could eat whatever I want and not have a stomach ache type of way. And now that I've gotten older, and I'm not even that old, okay? I'm still young. It's just so different. Like literally, I feel like I used to eat Taco Bell almost every day, Red Bulls all day long, hardly any water, so much soda, so much candy, junk food. I mean, I still eat a lot of candy and a lot of junk food, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't really drink soda like at all anymore. I never order a soda for myself at a restaurant. I'm big on the soda water. I love a good bubbly water. Topo Chico. I love this stuff so much. Spencer got me a soda stream for Christmas, so I've been using that a lot. Like I'm about the bubbly water. But you know what I mean? Like when you were younger, weren't you able to just like eat and drink anything and then not feel sick, or eat super late at night? Like I used to be able to drink like a Red Bull and then go to bed and then wake up and feel fine. And now if I drank a Red Bull before bed, I would be up firstly all night long, and then I would wake up with like heartburn and a stomach ache. But I will say there is a lot of foods that I've grown to really love the older I got. I used to avoid eating avocado when I was younger, and it wasn't because I didn't like it. I love avocado. I love guacamole, is like one of my favorite things in the world. But I swear to you, when I was in middle school and high school, every single time I would eat avocado or guacamole or whatever, the next morning I would wake up with the most gigantic pimple on my face. And I always was just like, oh, it's the guacamole. Oh, it's the avocado. Like, it must be high in fat. It's causing me to get acne, because that would happen every single time. Now, it was probably just teenage hormones, because I eat guacamole and avocado like almost every single day now, and I don't have those issues at all. But I would like avoid it at all costs. Even though I loved it, I would like never let myself have it, because I'm like, well, tomorrow morning I'll wake up with a zit. And I probably was at some part of me manifesting that. I also remember one time I ate like a full pizza by myself. A full pizza and then like 6 donuts in high school, and I was fine. And I like went out and hung out with my friends all day. Now I could probably still put down that much food, but I'm out for the count now. Like if I eat that much, I'm laying on the couch until next week, okay? Like, there's no coming back from that. Let me know in the comments down below what was your, like, favorite, I don't want to say gross, but like your favorite meal when you were younger that you would just eat all the time, that now that you're older, you're like, oh my god, that would kill me. I remember me and my friends would go to 7-Eleven and get like hot dogs and Slurpees constantly. Like, that was a thing that we did all the time. In the middle of the night, early in the day, we'd go to 7-Eleven, get a hot dog, we'd cover it with cheese, chili, jalapenos, everything, and then get a giant Slurpee. And that was like our meal for the day. I'd always put like Red Bull in my Slurpee. I was addicted to Red Bull back in the day, like, I swear. And I still like Red Bull, actually. You would think that I wouldn't like the taste of it anymore, but I don't really allow myself to have it very often. But that was like my go-to meal. That, or when Taco Bell, I haven't been to Taco Bell in so long, like, and I really do like Taco Bell, so I don't know if they have this there anymore, but they used to have these like meals. I think it was like $3 and you would get like a burrito, a drink, and a bag of chips. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, I would eat those all the time too. Like, me and my friends would get that all day, and that would be like my meal for the day, and I would be totally fine. Or like cup of noodle. That was like my high school food. Let me know in the comments down below what your go-to high school meal was. One thing that I do want to say that I am proud of myself for accomplishing last year, I don't know if like accomplishing is like the right word for it, but something that I definitely have seen a difference in from last year is my body just in general, and not the way my body looks, but more in the way that my body feels. At the beginning of last year, I wasn't able to do high knees. I wasn't able to do really like any kind of jumping squat, jumping style exercise. Doing just like squats in general killed my knees, and I could do like 10 and then I was like exhausted and my muscles were so sore. And I've gotten to the point now where it's like I can do a good, 45 seconds of jump squats and feel good and not feel dead. I could do high knees for about like a minute, and obviously, yeah, I'm tired, I'm breathing hella heavy, but I'm doing it and I have good form, and I can like physically feel in my body, especially my legs. I feel like I can feel that they have gotten so much stronger, and that's something that I'm really proud of myself for, because I've always had kind of weaker legs. My core muscle, even though I've never really had like, six-pack or like super defined abs, my core muscles and my back muscles have always been stronger. I think because I've always done like yoga and stretching and I walked a lot. Like, I think those kind of helped build those muscles. But my legs have always just been like so weak, so terrible. Like I said, could hardly do squats, couldn't do reverse lunges. Like, my legs were just not having it. And my legs have come such a far way. I was even thinking about that this morning, because this morning was leg day for me. And halfway through my workout, I was like, damn, like this time last year, I wouldn't have been able to do any of this. And I would have felt so bad about myself. But now I'm sitting here doing, jump squats or, jumping lunges and stuff like that. And I just feel so good about myself. And it's not even just like, oh, my body looks so amazing, I've transformed so hard. It's just that like I can physically feel myself being strong, and that just feels so good, and that just feels so good for me. And it really did help kind of change my mindset on working out. Obviously, like, at the end of the day, I'm working out because I want to be more body positive, because I want to look a certain way, or I want my body to look a certain way. But the stronger I've gotten, the more I've come to appreciate the fact, like, my body may never look perfect, but I'm strong. I can do things that I wasn't able to do, and like those little accomplishments really have helped me feel better about my body, even though my body isn't perfect or doesn't look exactly how I want it to look. I'm like, oh, but I can do, 30 burpees in a row. Like, that's pretty amazing. Like, that's pretty great. Yeah, I'm out of breath at the end, but I feel good. Like, I feel happy, I feel accomplished, I feel strong, and I think that's more of what I've tried to focus on, is feeling strong versus feeling like I look like a supermodel. That being said though, one exercise that I've always wanted to be able to do, and I still can't do it, even though I've gotten way stronger, I still can't do this move, is a pistol squat. So that's like a one-legged squat. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. If you Google pistol squat, you'll see a bunch of photos of it. I've never ever been able to do one of those. I have pretty good balance, but I don't have the strength. And so I think that's something that I really want to try to accomplish by the end of this year, is being able to do at least one on each leg. One on each leg and I'll be good, you know? My eyebrows are such a mess right now. For once, I was like, I'm gonna do them at the end. I'm not gonna do them at the beginning. And I'm looking at myself like, I look crazy. Remember when doing your eyebrows wasn't a thing? Remember when you just like wanted them to be really thin and not filled in? Because I do. I remember when I first started filling in my eyebrows, I did it with an eyeshadow from my Urban Decay Naked palette. I was using like a dark eyeshadow and I was just taking the brush, and I don't even know why I started doing it, if I saw it in a magazine or if I just did it one day, but I remember I started filling in my brows like in high school with just like eyeshadow like that, and I remember I came to school one day and someone was like, why your eyebrows look so dark? And I never stopped. I just kept going from there, and it's so funny how stuff like that happens. Sometimes I just think about stuff like that. Something else from when I was younger that I don't want to talk about too much because I do have a video about it coming up this month is flared yoga pants, or flared leggings. I mean, to me, they're yoga pants, are like coming back, which I think is so funny because when I was younger, like that was yoga pants. Like yoga pants just had the flared bottoms to them. They didn't have like the tight around your ankle. Like that wasn't really a thing. And then now it's like yoga pants only are tight around your ankle, but these flared ones are coming back and they're so stylish. And I remember when there was a point where it was like, you're wearing flared yoga pants? Like you don't have the ones that are tied around your ankles? Like that was like such a thing, and I'm like, oh, okay. How the trends come back. But that being said, I do have a video coming up this month sometime, probably in the next like 2 weeks, where I am doing a bunch of different outfits with flared yoga pants because I just thought it was so funny, so fun, such like a walk down memory lane. So I will be having a video about how to style those coming up at some point this month. So I was just talking about this to Spencer in the car yesterday, I believe. I was telling him that I'm so thankful that I am like a hairy person. Like I always say, it's a blessing and a curse. Like I have super thick hair. The hair grows like all the way down my neck. I got hairy arms. I got just hair all over my body. I got a hairy face, you know. But I definitely was guilty of over plucking my eyebrows to the point where they were super thin, and I even like for some reason plucked them like inwards like this when I was younger, and they have grown back fully and beautifully. And even like before my wedding, I accidentally like got them threaded way too thin, and my brows always grow back, and I'm like, wow, I'm really thankful that my hair just does that for me, because I do know some people who are like, I plucked all my eyebrows one day and they just never grew back, and I'm like, thank you for my eyebrows like growing back, for me having to pluck my unibrow once a week. Like, I'm thankful. Real quick, just want to say here, I have never been a liquid lipstick girl. I feel like I've made that really clear. This liquid lipstick from Lunar Beauty, this is the Zaya liquid lipstick, and I topped it with the lip gloss in Aura. I love this liquid lipstick, and I don't like liquid lipsticks. Usually I find that they're really dry, they're really uncomfortable. This is so comfortable. It has, to me, the same exact level of comfortability as a traditional tube lipstick. It lasts a really long time. I love the color. I'm actually really excited to try more liquid lipsticks from Lunar Beauty in the future. I mean, it's just such a comfortable feel to it. And I have worn it without gloss, and it is still just as comfortable and beautiful. So I just wanted to quickly say that. Thank you guys so much for sticking around in this video and listening to me just word vomit, ramble about my 2021 goals, about who knows what. Please let me know in the comments down below what your goals are for this year, whether or not you set goals for yourself, why or why you don't, or just whatever. Let me know. Say what's up. Thank you again. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post here every Tuesday and Friday. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.